Hi folks, it's Mike, PC31, the Vinyl Policeman, and it's been an expensive day today for anniversary issues coming out. I've already shown today 50th anniversary Dark Side of the Moon box set. You got the Kinks 60th, which has also come out today, which is vinyl and the CD. But also today, Turn Away Ben Rankins, is Elton John Day, because Elton has released his 50th anniversary of the wonderful Honky Chateau, his 5th studio album. It was actually released 19th of May 1972, so he's almost a year, they're almost a year late with this one. But it's been released. It's a different format to Madman Across the Water, which came out last year, which was a genuine box set, a couple of different records, etc. What they've done this time is a simple double album. So the first side of this is the original album, with some wonderful tracks on this album: Honky Cat, Mellow, Think I'm Gonna Kill Myself, Rocket Man, Mona Lisa's Manhatters, Hercules. Some really great tracks on it. But also on this one is a whole record of demos, and then also there's on the CD they've got Live at the Royal Festival Hall, London 1972, where you've got a lot of tracks from the album. But just showing you the vinyl first. So the vinyl, where is the original, the OG back in 1972? I don't know if you can see this, but this is an original. It was textured. I don't think you can see that at all. But it's textured cover, and the back only shows the 4 members of Elton's band at the time. The new cover is matte, but they got a glossy picture of Elton, and also the fonts at the top there, the words, are also stand out kind of thing. So it's a beautiful cover actually. So they've changed the back. You've got the 4 members of Elton John's band, but you've also got Jean-Luc Ponty, who plays violin on a couple of tracks on the album, and Bernie Taupin. The inside is exactly the same as the original, where you got Bernie Taupin there with all of his lyrics. But the inner sleeves, not polylined, which is a bit of a blow. But I re-sleeved them anyway. But that's the 2 inner sleeves, tape boxes, and Elton John story through the different bands he played with, etc. And so a couple of records, as I say, one is the original record, and one is the demos, and it's in the normal DJM label. There we go. So you also get with the vinyl a booklet, and the thing about this particular album, as I say, this was Elton's 5th album. And prior to that, Gus Dudgeon had done most of the production, all of the production, in fact. But he wanted session musicians. So would you think of Elton John's, band that he's most synonymous with? Dee Murray on bass, Nigel Olsson drums, and Davy Johnson. They appeared on just individual tracks on previous albums because Gus Dudgeon wanted to use primarily session musicians. But this was the first album where the band came together for the first time. And this one, came out in May 1972. Davy Johnson joined the band full-time basis in January 72. There are a couple of notable things actually which happened in January, and that's Elton changed his name by Deepold from Reginald Kenneth Wright to Elton Hercules John. And also the tax rate in the UK was so high, I think about 75% at the time, high rate earner, that he wanted to get out of the country basically, like the Stones did with Exile, and recorded the whole album in a chateau in France, Chateau de Horoville, where they had a fantastic time because it was very relaxed. It wasn't the cramped recording area that they'd been using in Trident prior to that. So it was a very comfortable, relaxed atmosphere, and Gus Dudgeon, the producer, thought it was fantastic. A really good atmosphere, very conducive for making a fluent album. The actual booklet itself, you've got everything that was going on at the time, and it is really interesting actually. I won't go through some of the stories, so I don't want to spoil it for you. And then you've also got a timeline of 1972, all the things which went on during that period. So as I say, what you've got on the vinyl, as I say, is the original album, and you've got some fabulous demos. And the demos for me are the jewel in the crown, because they remind me of the Isha demos, the Beatles Isha demos. Not as good, obviously, nothing's as good as that, but they remind me because lots of songs have false starts. Elton breaks into a Kenneth Williams voice. Kenneth Williams, everybody in the UK will know, synonymous with Carry On films, etc. Also breaks into the Goons at the time, Spike Milligan and Harry Seacombe, etc. Peter Sellers, he breaks into those kind of voices. Gus Dudgeon at one point says, that sounds better, Reg. So he's using his real name. There's another bit on there before one of the tracks, or after one of the tracks, where Elton says, Gus, I hate to tell you, but the electric piano's just blown up. And Gus Dudgeon says, you're joking. And Elton says, no, I'm not, it's blown up. And there's loads of little things like that. So the demos are absolutely fantastic. Now, I've also got the CD. And the reason I got that was because you've got extras on it. And you've got, it's 2 CDs. The first CD is Honky Chateau, the album. But then you've got half of the demos. CD 2, you've got the other half of the demos. But then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks live from the Royal Festival Hall, London, 1972. So when I first saw that, I thought to myself, well, could probably get away with just buying the CD. But for me now, I've now listened to the whole thing a couple of times. And although the live Festival Hall tracks are really good and worth having, the jewel in the crown of this particular one is the demos. The demos are absolutely fantastic. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 demos. You've got demos of Salvation, Susie, Rocket Man, Mellow, Slave, alternative fast version, Honky Cat, brilliant. Thinking We're Gonna Kill Myself, fantastic demo. Hercules, fantastic demo. And Slave. And I think that's the one I'm gonna, these demos are the ones I'm gonna keep playing over and over. And if you buy the vinyl, you get all those demos. The only thing you don't get with the vinyl is the live show, the 8 tracks from the live show, which is good, but don't think I'm going to be playing them that much. So this is the first album, as I say, where the band which we all associate with Elton John, Nigel Olsson, Davy Johnson, Dee Murray got together. Reading the notes, I didn't appreciate that before this, I mean, Davy Johnson was in Magna Carta, but apparently before this album was the first time he picked up an electric guitar, because he was playing all acoustic instruments before. So I certainly didn't appreciate that. This album went #1 in the US, and it was the first of 7 albums on the trot in the US which went to #1 for Elton John. So I would say produced by the wonderful Gus Dudgeon, who produced all of Elton John's classic albums. And the engineer is the wonderful Ken Scott, who was one of the main engineers for the Beatles and for Floyd. So this one's sandwiched between Madman Across the Water and Don't Shoot Me, I'm the Piano Player, which hopefully is going to come out as a deluxe set fairly soon as well. So album or CD, really, really good. Great tracks on this album. For me, key period of Elton John. This is when he was really relevant. Latter times, not so much. But fantastic. Recommend this one, folks.